Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle to triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. We already have people jumping on live. Thank you so much for being here today. I so appreciate it. This is Her Version. The Her Version platform is built on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from listening to other people's stories. Today, I'm speaking with an amazing woman named Dawnell Kelly. I don't think it gets any easier than that. From college to Navy to marriage to divorce, this woman is here today to talk about finally finding the love of her life, starting a family, and diving into the awesome world of entrepreneurship. She now specializes in tailor-made strategies that skyrocket your business, organization, and project coordination. She is here to talk about all of the things. Welcome, Donna. How are you?
Thank you. I am so well. I feel blessed beyond belief.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you and your patience today. We had a little back end mishap and we handled it like warriors.
Yes.
So super excited to have such an awesome female here that understands all the stuff. You know, sometimes there's stuff. So I appreciate you and what you're bringing to the table today. So tell us where you're from.
I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, and now I'm in Wisconsin.
That's a little bit of a jump right there.
Yeah, I got lost and now I'm stuck because I'm in love with my husband and I have an amazing 8-month-old. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, I'm excited to jump into your story. And you know, some of the stuff you've gone through. I love this podcast because it really brings awareness to it doesn't matter about the stuff. It doesn't matter about all the things we've been through. You can create a life that you love despite the journey. So one of the first questions that I love to ask my ladies is, what is one of the greatest challenges you have gone through, and what did you learn from that challenge?
It's actually more of a concept. It's self-sabotage. And the most challenging part of it is because I didn't know what that was. So I just thought I would start doing good in an area of my life and then something bad would happen and I'd have to shift gears. And that happened over and over and over until I was finally able to enter therapy. I started meditating, getting clarity. And I was like, oh, the common denominator here is me. I am my own worst enemy in every sense of the word. So pretty deep stuff for sure.
That is so interesting. And I think that so many individuals, men and women, can totally relate to that. Tell us a story. Tell us a story where you were self-sabotaging yourself and didn't know it.
Oh, this is a good one. If you think you've done something embarrassing, just wait. So I was a shipboard firefighter in the Navy for years, and I am a go-getter. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun to re-enlist on the football field with the Seattle Seahawks? Have this huge ceremony. I organized it. There's going to be a lot of my fellow sailors and re-enlisting. And the night before, I decided to consume copious amounts of alcohol and try to drive to my then ex-boyfriend's house. It was a great toxic relationship, perfect for your early 20s, and got pulled over. Thank goodness. I could have really hurt someone, and was in jail the next day during this whole ceremony in front of the whole team of the Seattle Seahawks. Wonderful.
And you planned the whole thing?
I did. I was the one that created the whole thing. I had an entrepreneurial spirit even back then. And then I ended up in jail that day.
Wow. You obviously had some really good help.
A lot of connections. A lot of it's networking, and I love people and I love working with people. So that hasn't changed. It was just my mental state was so bad that I couldn't maintain that level of success. I started going up and I had to cut my legs out from underneath me.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when did you dive into the world of personal development?
Ooh, after my first marriage, I actually started having seizures and nobody could figure out why. So I thought I need to figure out something needs to change. And that's when you start grasping at everything. So I was like, well, I need to learn about how to meditate. I read, I don't know what that book is called now. The Secret, I guess is what it's called, I think. I started reading books like that. I started learning up on Eckhart Tolle. And so I really started diving deep into what is the point of all this. When your body starts breaking down or you're faced with death, you kind of get a clear view of what really matters. So I started having seizures and I was all alone. And I just thought, you know what? Something's got to give. I gotta shift something somewhere. So yeah.
No kidding. How far into the relationship did that happen?
Right after I got divorced. So I moved to Wisconsin after I married this guy over the internet because I had to escape after I got out of the Navy. And I realized it wasn't working out as my brain matured. Right? That doesn't happen until around 25. And I think I maxed out and broke my brain from stress. It came to a head. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there, when you say escape, what does that mean?
Initially, I escaped to go to college when I was 18, escape my home life. And that didn't work because I wasn't prepared, right? So then I escaped to join the military. And then I self-sabotaged there as well. So then I thought, well, I can't stay here. So I escaped by getting married and moving to his home state. And so escape is like a way to react. A lot of us live our lives reacting to what's happening and not realizing we're actually in control and taking our power and making decisions. Yeah. Something happens and then we react to it. So that's how I lived for a long time. Yep.
Yeah. I think I know I definitely, so that's like the flight, freeze.
Fight or flight or freeze.
Thank you.
Yep.
I don't know. Now there's fawn. I don't know if there's a fawn now.
Fawn?
Fawn meaning a coping mechanism where you almost like fall into a submissive role of anything you want and love. And in order to like calm everything down, you kind of like switch into an alter ego of love.
Yeah.
I should actually look more into that, but I just recently heard about it. I was going to say, so that would be flight. You were constantly flying.
Yep.
To escape, to escape, to escape.
Yep.
So what do you do now? When women who are listening, who are in a similar cycle of one of those, because they're all very similar, love to hear alternatives of what they should be doing. Those who are coming to a head where they're looking around kind of like you did, and they're like, wait a minute, this is not working for me. And they're looking for some advice. They're looking for some inspiration on how to do it differently. What would you say you do now? I'm sure that, life is good, but I'm sure you still get in arguments. I'm sure you still get stressed with work. I'm sure you have an 8-month-old baby. I'm sure that there's all the motherhood angst that comes with that. So what do you do now instead of flying?
Now I face it. I don't know if that's an option, but that's what I'm doing. So I have to make sure I take time for myself every day, even if it's just 10 minutes. I need to do a check-in. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? What do you need? And then if some sort of strong emotion arises, for example, I get irritated or something, I don't engage with that right away. For example, if I'm irritated with my husband, I say, I'm irritated. I need a minute. Then I go take a minute. I don't respond to whatever's happening. I need to go take a minute and figure out why am I irritated? Because at the heart of it, I'm reacting to something. And it's probably not what we're talking about. It's probably something buried deep that has nothing to do with him or whoever it is. So take a minute. That problem or whatever it is will still be there later. So just put it on pause for a minute and go talk to yourself. Make sure you really are discussing this and you're not reacting to something that happened before. Like it's hard for us to trust people when we've been in toxic relationships. Well, that's not their fault. That's what we went through. So we need to take a minute and check in and maybe set some boundaries with ourselves too.
Yeah.
Yep.
How does for instance, your partner react when you do say that you need to take a minute?
Yeah, go ahead. It's not like he's giving permission. It's just, yeah, like it's a thing. It's not a conversation. And that really helped with before we got married is having a lot of communication because I was jaded. I said, look, we can get married, but we can get divorced. And I'm not going to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. What are your views on politics, religion? I laid it all out. So it wasn't, plug your nose, cover your eyes, try to, no. We were in our 30s. We'd both been married before. It's just like, are we doing this or what? This is who I am. Who are you? How can we be best friends? That's it.
Yeah.
We're best friends. It's not a weird dynamic.
I love how you're doing that with the covering your eyes and your mouth thing, because that is a thing. I see that so much where there's this nervousness to speak.
It's crippling. It's crippling until it's not.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of if you let it get to the point where you're just screaming, I can't do this anymore. Usually it's like a death experience, or like me, my brain would shut off and I'd have a full seizure. I didn't know what was happening. So I thought, what is really important at the end of the day? And that really strengthened my resolve to treat myself with respect. But you shouldn't have to let it get to that point. I hope. I hope we're helping other women. Yes.
Yeah. When you say what's important at the end of the day, what does that mean to you?
To me, it means, what am I doing here? What do I want with my life? What am I doing here? That's it. Ask yourself, what are you doing here? And if you're saying, well, I'm working and I need to make money and I need to, okay, but what do you really want? What feels right? Because you can't lie to yourself. At the end of the day, you can't lie to yourself. So if you ask yourself, you don't have an answer, just keep asking. Every day, ask yourself, what do I want? What am I doing? What do I want to do? And it's like, well, what if I, okay, just find an answer. You don't have to do anything today. Just figure out what you want. Otherwise, you're never going to get there.
How did you make a decision to divorce your first husband?
Yeah. When I felt like cheating, I'm never about that. Like, that is not who I am. When I was driven to that point, I was like, something is wrong. So then when I went to ask for a divorce and he acted all shocked, and I knew it felt right. But then later I got a call a year later, and this woman, she said, oh, you're such and such's ex-wife. And, we've been together over a year and I've been wondering, if he's going to leave me alone because we just broke up, blah, blah. I'm like, wait, when did you get together? And he was cheating the whole time. And I just laughed about it because I went with my gut. Thankfully, I didn't force it and then get offended, but I was just like, oh my goodness, I really dodged a bullet.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Did she find you on social media or what?
Yeah, because she was genuinely scared. She's like, is he like a stalker or what's going on? I was like, I don't know, lady. I'll text his mom because we're cool and good luck.
Wow. Yeah, now with social media, you have to be really careful.
Yes.
You have to be really careful. I'm actually even, I'm engaged now, but but I'm even just a little sus, as my 18-year-old would say, a little sus. Individuals who don't have social media.
Yes.
Because,
yeah.
I mean, I guess it could go both ways. Like, I don't have social media because I don't want to get in that situation, but it could also go the opposite way of I don't have social media because I don't want to ever get caught.
Right. And that's when at the end of the day, you just have to be yourself and then try to surround yourself with like-minded people. Yeah. Because in any platform or anything in general, you can use it one way or another. Yeah. But just trying to avoid everything, that's how I used to live. It doesn't work.
Yeah. So how old were you when you finally started discovering this alternative way of thinking?
I would say around 26. So I was in college because I went later after the military. And yeah, but it took a while because I didn't have a foundation of this. I was kind of discovering everything on my own. So nowadays with platforms like yours, we can kind of skip ahead.
Yes.
Not have to be so alone.
Yes, that's the whole thing. Learn it a little bit quicker than we did. I do agree that there has to be some sort of turbulence.
Yep.
But
Exactly.
we don't have to do it so long.
Or dramatic.
Yeah.
We don't have to wait for it to get so bad. You
Yes.
can just take the signs earlier and be like, okay, this is gonna get it. Nope, I'm good.
Yes.
You don't have to blow up your whole life. That's not what we're saying.
Exactly. You don't have to blow up your whole life. What would you say is the number one lesson that you've learned about life?
The number one lesson would be true to yourself. Figure out what that is and don't get attached to it. Sounds contradictory, but you are
Girl, that was good.
evolving and changing always. So be true to yourself, whoever that is. So who you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, tomorrow is different than who you are right now.
Ooh, wait, expand on that a little bit more. Don't get attached to it. This is so important because people don't commit to themselves or others because they feel like it's gonna be forever.
Yep. They're stuck.
Yes. When did this come to be? That was brilliant.
It's actually been happening over the last, 3 to 4 years, right before I met my husband, because it was just not quite the most turbulent time. I was coming down from that. But essentially, it was just like, I'm a different person now. Like, I've been through some stuff, and that's okay. So what do I want to try now? Well, I'm going to graduate. Okay. Then I don't know what I want to do. But I will know when I know, which means if we're stuck in a role, like I am, an accountant, and this is what I do, this is who I am, then that's just who you are forever. You're going to be 80 years old and that's just what you do. You have to how do you have dreams without being willing to change and to reach them? So it's just a matter of, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. I want to get married and have a kid, right? But I wasn't attached to it. It didn't mean I had to, or, I would die, I guess is a good way to put it. So have those hopes, have those dreams, but be open to changing along the way. Maybe you're having that dream or that hope to get you to another step that you can't even see yet. So I call it the flashlight theory. So you have a flashlight and you can only see as far as the flashlight shows. And every time you take a step, it illuminates the next part of the path. But you have to have faith in one way, shape, or form to keep going. You can't see the whole thing, because it's impossible. There's too many variables.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I really want to open a restaurant, and you have that dream, but actually it leads you to meet someone where you actually open up a different kind of shop. You never know where it's going to lead. So follow those hopes and dreams, but don't get attached to them, because it might be leading you somewhere else that's even better.
Totally.
That's how I met my husband. Yeah. Totally different plan for my life.
Yeah. Even just with entrepreneurship in general, I knew that I needed to build something.
Yeah.
And I just started. I didn't even know. And what I started, just over a decade ago and what it looks like now are like two totally different things.
Right.
But exactly what you said, was not married to anything. And like, because I started, it then was able to evolve. But it's like that like nervousness of, I don't know if I want to fully commit to this. So then they do nothing. So nothing happens.
Paralyzed.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do that. We have so many choices. We pigeonhole.
Yeah.
What if it doesn't work out? Well, time's going to pass anyway. So
exactly.
What are you going to do anyway?
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of my favorite thought processes with that is just fail fast.
Yes.
I don't know who said that. I feel like I heard Rachel Hollis say that first, but I know a few people have said it. But just, like, the faster you can just make a decision, go with the decision. If it winds up failing or it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. Then just pivot quickly. Right. It's better than not doing anything and just being stuck at the crossroads.
Forever. Yeah.
Exactly. Forever. Yeah. Some people are forever.
You get drunk and then you're like, well, 10 years ago, I was gonna, it's like, oh, great. Good deal. Have fun with that. Like, what do you say? I don't know.
Well, you start now.
Yeah. Start today.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what can I do today? Write down what you want. You got a pad and a paper?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to, okay, write down what you don't know about what you want. That's what I put a post on LinkedIn today. I said, okay, how many goals do you have scheduled for someday? That's not a day.
Yeah.
You need to write down and get clear on what you want. And if you don't know, post to social media and ask so we can support each other. That's what networking means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. What does success mean to you?
It's variable. To me personally, my perception of success is having a healthy, happy son and being able to have some flexibility for me. So if I want to work, I will work today. If I want to go on a day trip, I will do that. It's just a matter of freedom mixed with stability. So I want a little bit of both. I want to be able to feed my family, but I want to be able to enjoy time with them as well.
Yeah.
So balance is success to me. It's not simply a monetary value. That's one part of success. Yeah.
When I know that are you fairly new into entrepreneurship? How many years are you?
2.5.
2.5 years. So this is a great question for you because, well, for both of us to talk about actually, because you're newbie and I'm just a little bit, I'm 10. So it's a nice little mix there. But what is your thoughts when it comes to this concept of imposter syndrome? Like, when is a person good enough to be able to say that they are an expert or to be able to say that they can help you?
It depends. Those are two different things. So to be an expert, it depends on the field. Some fields require degrees, certifications, licenses. You got to be careful if you're a surgeon. But if you're a coach, that's a whole separate issue. It's a matter of how many people you've helped. And it's not just a number, it's about the quality. So you don't want to guarantee anything as a coach because at the end of the day, you're providing guidance and they're doing the work. So at any point in time, if you've helped someone, you're an expert. You're an expert at helping others. But again, that is a very subjective viewpoint depending on the profession. So
how do you handle it?
What do you mean? Like, how do I determine if I'm an expert or not?
No, how do you handle whether, when you're feeling feelings of not being capable or, hesitation of, am I actually good enough to be pitching this person my expertise in this field?
Yes. Okay. So essentially, I have to just, I have to go in myself a little bit and go, I'm not selling to them. I'm offering to help them. I'm using my gifts to supplement their gift. That's the only way to think about it. So the money is there because we all have to eat, but that's not the main part of the connection. And the reason why I say that is I view that there's no competition because at the end of the day, I don't have time to help everyone with my services. It's impossible. There's no way. And even if I did, I don't want to. We don't click with everybody. So if someone and I are not clicking, I can refer them to someone else. So at the heart of it, I'm thinking, okay, I want to help them before I meet. That's how I think. And then when I meet them, I go, is this going to work? So we do this in every other relationship except for professional. Okay, so let's say you go on a dating site and you type in what you want, and you're probably going to get more than one candidate. So how do you determine who you want to go on a date with, right? Why don't we do that with clients? You meet with them and determine if you're jiving, if you want to pursue this relationship. It's not just a monetary transaction unless you sell a product, they buy your product and you don't even meet. But if you're working one-on-one, you got to have a connection there.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what helps.
What would you wish for?
In my ideal client?
In life.
Ooh, okay. So in terms of professional life, I would love to work with other women who have a higher purpose. So that tells me that they're in it. They're willing to put in the work as long as they know what that is. Because we all have specialties. We know what we know, and we can share that knowledge with each other. So if they understand, okay, I am serving this purpose over here. This is how I'm going to use your services to get that. Perfect. If they're just like, man, I love shoes and I really want to sell them, that's awesome. I can't help you. That's not going to work for me. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I want to take a second to acknowledge those that are watching live. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us. We appreciate you. For those of you watching on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay so that we know that you were here. We can send you some love. So I want to ask, since we're kind of sort of on the subject here of your business, what do you do for work? What do you do to help all the humans?
I help businesses get organized. And is it really the business or is it the owner? It's the owner. Owners love to do all the things and they want to do them all at the same time. And they do a little bit of everything and then they get distracted. Yeah. And they schedule everything for someday. Oh yeah, I'll get back to that 6 months later. Oh yeah, I was going to do that 6 months later. So they're usually really good at what they do, what they offer, but they want to do more. They want to launch their own podcast. They want to write articles. Maybe they want to write a book or become a keynote speaker. So they have a lot of additional goals on top of running their business that they just put on the shelf and they'll get to it later. And then sometimes they're putting out fires a lot. So it's scrambling. Okay, one more client and then I'll do one more client and then I'll plan ahead. And they have sticky notes everywhere. Just saying.
I actually don't have sticky notes, but I have notebooks filled.
Oh, multiple.
All the yes, girl. Mm-hmm. I'm obsessed with notebooks. Probably twice a month, I go through all of my notebooks and I put them in all of the areas that they're supposed to be on my computer.
Yeah.
Because there's ideas, when you're in this world and in this arena of building, the mindset that goes along with an entrepreneur is like long and wide.
Yes.
So it goes in so many different directions at 120 miles an hour. And I am a firm believer in writing everything down. I sleep so well. I am really, really good with my family, being with my family. So when I'm working and I'm with my family, I'm with my family. And the reason why is because of my notebooks.
Yes.
Because I write everything down. So it's not like in my head rolling around when I'm supposed to be spending time with them.
Yes.
It's all safely written down somewhere. And then, once or twice, 3 times a month, kind of depending. I go through everything and I have the someday pile and, all the other things as far as, keeping organized and continuing to grow and expand in the direction that makes sense at the moment. So I totally get that. You're right on point. You know what you're doing. Where can people find you?
LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. Look me up there and my website, oxyhelp.com. There's just a lot of good information. Even if you're not looking to work with me, you could probably use just some tips. I think that's really important on social media, not to just brag about yourself. If you wanted to know everything about what I do, you probably just do it, So you probably just need a little help on how to organize. That's it.
Fantastic.
That's it. Yeah.
Fantastic. What are your big dreams for your business?
Ooh, I want to create an internship program for the women that are going to the university I graduated from. So they work for me, they learn how to run business, and then they graduate and go create their own businesses. Or they work for me for a couple of years, save up, and then go off and do great things, then do a callback. When I first got started with Dawnell, she empowered me. Now I'm going to do that for the next generation. And we create this ripple effect nationwide of women empowerment and women getting more money and getting more influence and making change in society. So I got multiple layers to my plan.
Yes. I love it. Absolutely. Did you internship when you were younger?
Oh, no. Nope. I joined the Navy, tried college, joined the Navy, went to college again, and happenstance, enlightenment, now I'm here. So I didn't do any clubs or programs or anything.
How was the Navy for you?
It was perfect because I needed the structure and the stability when I was younger. I didn't have that. I thought if I don't join the military, I'm going to end up in jail. I need something. So that helped me mature. And then once I started thinking for myself, that's when I was like, probably should think about a different area. But I had to drink and drive to really drive it home. Yes.
Definitely.
Yep.
Why do you do what you do? Why did you decide to get into this industry?
It comes naturally to me. Organizing, structuring, training, teaching. I really like it. And then when I realized you can get paid to do what you're naturally good at, I thought, this is it. I don't even think this is a thing. I've heard of project management in the corporate world, but not what I'm doing. So it's very exciting, scary, but it feels right. So when you do those check-ins and you're like, is this what I should be doing? And it feels right, even if you don't know how it's going to work out, just go for it. It's worth it.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So your ideal client is who?
Women, business owners, and entrepreneurs.
Who need help with what?
You guys are scattered. So for those of you who know what you want to do, you've been doing it, but you want more. You're just not sure where to start. So you have a lot of good ideas, and sometimes you go off on tangents on those ideas. And then there's one more thing you could be doing. And so you have all these ideas all the time, but you're not getting anything done. And that's frustrating. So you think, okay, next year for sure. I have a business plan. I'll do this part later. And there's always a later.
What's the difference between you and what you're building and a virtual assistant?
Oh, virtual assistants help with scheduling, maybe responding to people on social media, anything that you need support with assistant-wise. I help with organizing your business first and then helping you plan and execute projects. So think of an event coordinator or event planner, right? You tell them, hey, I want this event. And then they go make it happen. They coordinate the DJ, the caterers. They ask you what color napkins you want. And then they go make it happen. And you show up to the event. It's great. That's what I do for projects. You don't have time to be delving deep into each project. You have a business to run. So if you want your website redone, you tell me, I make it happen. And you're still running your business because you're not a website developer. You are what you are.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been absolutely fantastic. I so appreciate you being here and sharing your story and all the goodness that you're bringing to the world. Any closing thoughts before we wrap up here?
No, I love what you're doing here. And I'm excited to continue connecting with other powerful women. That's the only way to make change is if we get together. So thankful for the internet. That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We're in a whole new era right now. It's so nice. And it's making it capable for, individuals who maybe wouldn't have normally, but now can. So that's cool.
Yes.
So for those of you watching live and on the replay, if you resonated with Dawnell and all the awesomeness that she is, make sure you connect with her on her website and social media. She's on LinkedIn. We love to connect with people here on this. We'd love to connect people here on this platform in order to make sure that we all continue to rise. Thank you so much for joining us here on her version. This community is expanding every single day and is filled with females who are striving to do better than they did yesterday. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. If you have an amazing story to share of struggle to triumph, be sure to reach out to me here or at hernation.life. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria, and I'm so grateful to be here sharing a platform that allows people to share their truth and inspire others. As always,